In this video, I'm going to be talking about the voice Caddie Vc200 and whether or not it's worth picking up. So what we're going to be covering in this video are my first impressions, what it actually does, how it performed, the pros and cons, and also the best place to buy. So I'll just mention our gear giveaway here. If you want to enter into our 100, 500, and 1000 subscriber giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then comment giveaway down below. Simply do those three things and you'll be automatically entered. Alright, so let's start with my first impression. So this is basically an inexpensive golf GPS that's going to tell you how far away you are from the green. It comes preloaded with over 30,000 courses worldwide. They said it has about a 9-hour battery life, but in my experience it was somewhere just under 2 rounds. So it would be nice to have it last a full 2 rounds. I'm sure if you get it under there quickly, maybe you can finish in 6.5 hours, you should be fine. But generally for a 4-hour round, 8 hours being 2 rounds, it lasted just under that. So that's just kind of my first impressions of it. But what does it actually do? Basically the Vc200 is a pretty simple device that mainly does 2 things. The first is going to tell you how far away you are from the green, and pretty much just knowing that is going to really help you dial into your short game. The second is it's going to help you figure out how far you hit each club, which is really useful for me, especially off the tee and approach shots. Just knowing, you basically don't have to calculate it yourself, and just knowing it is, if you have a good shot, it's a confidence booster, that kind of thing. But definitely 2 things that you probably should know. That's pretty much the 2 things it does. It's not like super advanced or anything like that, but definitely does do the job well. Knowing this info has been a huge help for me getting more greens and regulations per round, just because I had a better idea on what club I needed to hit. Oftentimes I was either too long or too short, but knowing the exact distance and how far I hit each club, definitely lowered, improved my greens and regulation. What doesn't it do? So since it's not an overly expensive or advanced GPS, it doesn't offer a whole lot of things other units do. The first thing it doesn't do is show you the distance to different hazards on the course, like bunkers, doglegs, water, layup spots, that kind of thing. The second thing is that if a hole isn't straight, let's say it doglegs to the left, sometimes it gives a diagonal distance to the green, which oftentimes isn't even a playable shot. So if, let's say you have a big dogleg left, it'll basically take a diagonal distance from like the tee box to the green, cutting over it could be another fairway, it could be like trees out of bounds, that kind of thing. So it won't give you the distance of like the actual fairway. It'll give you a diagonal distance, shortest distance to the green. Pretty much, it wasn't an issue most of the time. But if there was a big dogleg or something like that, it definitely didn't work the best. But if it was straight or if it was a slight dogleg, it was completely fine. How accurate was it? So the most important element to these things is that they're actually accurate, because if they're not, there's really no point in having one. So the good news is with the Vc200 here is that it was actually more accurate than I thought it would be at first. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it always seemed to be within about 4 to 5 yards on my laser rangefinder, which is definitely definitely all I could really ask for, being that it was a fairly inexpensive GPS. But let's cover some pros and cons. So pros, the price can't be beat. It's just as accurate as a lot of the other more expensive units. It's nice and compact, and the battery lasts a full round. Cons, it doesn't show you the distance to the front and back of the green, it's only the middle, and then doesn't show the distance to different hazards on the course. I'd rather have something that did. I'd rather pay a little bit extra to get something that'll show hazards, but for people who are tight on a budget, this is all they can really afford. It does a decent job. Okay, so the breakdown: performance score, I'll give it a 6, price score, I'll give it a 10, ease of use score, I'll give it a 10. My personal score an 8, which is kind of middle of the range. There's things that are better, there's things that are worse. Overall, it was fairly decent. Frequently asked questions. So how do you know what courses are on it? It's had about 80% of the courses that I generally go to on it. You actually can call them, and sometimes they'll add courses for you. But pretty much most of the courses, most of the bigger courses were on it, so that wasn't really a problem for me. How many holes will the battery last? Just under 36 holes in our experience. And then what's the difference between the Vc200 and the Vc300? So the 300 is going to give you the distance to the back and front of the green, and then pretty much all the same features as the 200. It is a little bit extra, but I'd probably say it's worth paying a little bit more just to give the distance to the back and front. It's just more useful. It's good info to have. But yeah, that's pretty much the frequently asked questions. But is it worth it taking into account all the pros, all the cons? I would say even though it was an inexpensive golf GPS that was accurate to use, I feel like there are better options on the market in its price range. It's not a bad device or anything like that, but I personally preferred others because they had a few more features, like front and back of the greens, green shape, that kind of thing. I will list my favorite units down below. But if you would like to see more images or reviews of any of the mentioned products, or you want to get any of them for the lowest price available, click the link in the description down below. At the time of the video, that was the best place I could find it, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.